What's up? Good morning, Coffee Talk. I heard you guys. I'm back at 9. I know, I get it. You guys are kind of like out walking, doing your thing. Happy Monday. Super happy today. I got my boy Bruce. What's up, Laura? Here we go. Let's get things started with a dance party. What's up? What's up? Throw it up. What's up, Melissa? Welcome. Welcome to Coffee Talk, 9 o'clock. Here we go. We're going to move things in reverse here again, going back to original format. I heard you guys wanted to go Coffee Talk 9 o'clock and then the workout, and I'm going to slide my spin because guys want spin, but yeah, it's all a big dance break today. I'm coming at you guys with a lot today. Coming at you guys with a lot. What's up? What's up, Sandra? Here we go. What's up, Aaron? What's up, Marie? What's up, Catherine? Yes. Here we go. Hair is growing out. Look at this craziness. What's up, Jen? Welcome. Here we go, guys. Cheers. I got a bomb coming at you. We got 8. I only did 8. I don't know. I like 8. 8 is the infinity. I got 8 fundamentals today. It is now 9 o'clock on the dot. That's what the laptop says. Cheers, you guys. I have got today, I don't always tell you guys like what I'm drinking. I know I do the Bia, which I just got my order in, so it's like fired up in the refrigerator. And I do a branched chain amino acid. I'm going to talk to you guys about that. Don Chow, what's up? Allison, branched chain amino acids, which I find, it's actually on my list today. One of the fundamentals for me in my body in recovering because of the weight training that I do. We're going to talk about that a lot today. I want to get very specific about what we're doing right now with our bodies and where we're going to go, because we're hacking the future. We're hacking the future, but we've got to do it now. If you're really like totally into hacking the future, if you're just like living, lay those fundamentals on me. Yes, ma'am, right now. Nicole, what is up? Mindset reset. My name is Lisa Gaylord. I'm your personal trainer. I'm your coach. I'm your fitness guru. Yeah, I said guru because I realize that there are a lot of people out there that are talking a lot of junk. There's a lot of junk out there, and it's just not right. It's so wrong. It's wrong. I want to get you like past your fears and get you guys on board longevity. Talking about one of the fundamentals about body weight workouts and the things that I do branched chain amino acids because I need to build my body back. I've got a recovery formula. I actually put it all together. I put a pre-workout, a post-workout, and a during workout all in one because I'm like, why not? Yeah. And I'm adding magnesium to all of my drinks, extra magnesium. I suffer from restless leg syndrome, so I kind of like bumped that out of the way, and I just put everything in together, and it tastes amazing. So if you guys need more information on the stuff that I'm consuming, I'm very strict about my diet, which we're going to talk about again. It's one of the fundamentals, so I want to get you guys super on board. We've got a really great workout today. We've got pop squats, reverse lunges, push releases. I did push-ups for the first time yesterday. I still am recovering from wrist surgery, but I can do knuckle push-ups like nobody's business. And, you know, from years of karate, it's kind of fun. I'm like back to my basics. So we're going to get into it here, guys. Dance break again, because yeah, that's just who I am and I love it. What? So when we get into it today, if you guys are taking notes, I will normally, for the future, because I'm building out a podcast, and building out the podcast, we're going to have studio notes that we're going to add to this. Really, Coffee Talk was out of just pure necessity. So many people asking me, they're like, ask me this and ask me that and ask me this, and I'm like, let me just get into like a little bit of showtime. You know, guys, look at this hair, crazy stuff. This is me being me as a personal trainer, me having 40 years experience in this industry, my passion, my power, my love for digging through like the bullshit, digging through all of the crap that's out there that you guys have to like really weed through. And there's so much language involved in, you know, take this, lose fat, and it's so much easier than that. What's up, Michelle? It is so much easier. And if you guys are out there, you want to take some notes, go ahead and grab a piece of paper. I'm going to be throwing some big nugget bombs on you today. Let's go through the 8 fundamentals real quick, and then we'll go back and I'll address each and every one of them for you. Again, I'm looking at this crazy hair. Yeah, let it grow. And it's so funny. As soon as I start letting it grow, people come at me. They're like, oh, but I loved your short hair. I'm like, I know, but it's a lot. People don't even realize short hair is not as easy as you think. It's just not. Anyway, long hair. Here we go. All right, so fundamental number 1, and I'm not going to say that one has a priority over the other. I just kind of wrote them out and we'll just talk about them, but there is no priority. It's kind of an all accumulation of how we should be living our lives. For longevity for me, and when I get into these conversations with people, when people ask me, and they ask me the same questions over and over and over, and sometimes I giggle because I'm like, I just want to have like a little recording button on my shoulder, and you just push and it's the same recording over and over and over and over. But I realize, because a lot of times we're looking for answers, and then we go out into the internet, and sometimes that's really the wrong place for people to find information, when, you know, those search engines are driven by people that have a lot of money, like lots of money. And that answer, that first answer, sometimes isn't always the right answer, nor is it from the person that you need to get that information from. And I'm going to kind of come at you to give you the perspective of, you know, biological female, professional athlete, 57 years old. How am I going to get to the next 57? And I want to live to 105. That's been my marker. I watched one of my relatives at 105. So I think that that's in my genetic component. And having like zero biomarkers, zero markers in my life. And what that means is I've never had cancer. Although we know that cancer, everyone, by the way, has cancer. Every single one of us has cancer, but nobody addresses it that way. We look at cancer as the after fact. Oh, so-and-so got cancer. No, so-and-so always had cancer. It's how you manage your body, how you manage your lifestyle, how you manage. And again, what my opinion is, if it disagrees with you, or it's offensive to you, or you're kind of butthurt over it, I don't really care. I want you guys to just open your mind and understand where I'm coming from is practicality. And over time, how many case studies have I dealt with, and watching people living their lives, and then when something goes wrong, they seem like alarmed, like, oh my God. And remember, everyone has cancer. It's in our cells. It's in our mutations. We all have mutations. We're living with them. If you are on the planet, unless you're living in some kind of like off indigenous culture that's like immune to any disease or, you know, pollution or toxicity, like we all live in it. Like our water system, like, come on, seriously, it's disgusting. Get your filter system set up. That's all I say. So let's start at the top. I don't want to get too heavy, but I want to cover everything. First one is body weight workouts. muscle and protein. Building muscle. And I follow someone by the name of Gabrielle Lyons. I love her. Dr. Lyons comes from a place, she happens to be like drop dead gorgeous, but so smart. Like, what? Super, super, super smart. So if you've ever followed Dr. Lyons, and she talks about the muscle being that part of the body that I believe also, and I kind of equate it to like people that do like Botox and filler. If you're not building muscle, then you're not filling your body like as a structure. Cardio doesn't work. It never did. It never will. It's super stressing on the body. A lot of times I watch people that are doing like HIIT workouts, which are great and cute, and I do them. But that is not the foundation of my body. The foundation of my body is progressive overloading, strength training, muscle building. And to build muscle, you have to focus on building muscle, which is the way I describe it to a lot of my clients is if it doesn't scare you, it's not heavy enough. So those rep ranges on building muscle are 3 to 5 repetitions. These are max back squats. These are max front squats. These are max pull-ups. These are max bench pressing. Things that are again, functional movement, a functional overhead pressing. These are things that we use in our lifestyle, in our culture, to do the things that we do. Picking things up off the ground, like in a deadlift position or in a bent over row. The anatomy of these big movements, overhead pressing. These are the things that if your body is not struggling underweight, if you're not struggling underweight, and most of my girls and my guys also, but it's when guys have like that natural testosterone kind of kicking around, it makes it a lot easier to recover and lift and build. So for my girls that are like, I'm going to stick with the 8s, 10s, and 12s. I'm like, yeah, but that's not functional. That's just repetitive motion. Then your body will adapt quickly to repetitive motion. You'll adapt quickly. What I say is the theory of adaptation is very similar to the person that's out on the street that uses a big jackhammer. Excuse me. The jackhammer weighs a couple 100 pounds, probably 400 pounds, let's say. And if I went out and I used that jackhammer, the next day I would probably be like incredibly sore because my body is not used to that thing. But over time, excuse me, if I learn how to use that jackhammer, and you see a lot of people that are in that field, they're eating like a very, very, very low quality diet in general, and I'm generalizing so you guys get a concept and an idea that person that's using the jackhammer has a big fat belly, but they're doing the exercise that tore me apart. But they have physically adapted. They have physically adapted to that repetitive motion, so it's easy for them. And then when they have a low quality diet, they'll actually gain weight. So again, what we're talking about is a rep scheme from 3 to 5 repetitions, max load. Get a personal trainer or hire me. I'll help you. I'll guide you. I have very simple principles. I think that there are about 5 standard movements that you should actually develop. Beyond that, that is no longer a strength program. You're talking about like a HIIT or a Tabata, which we're doing today. That is not strength training. That will not build muscle. That's muscle endurance. That's a totally different workout. So there are actually the 3 main components. If you're doing strength is one part of my workout. Actually, I do mobility to set my workout up. Then I do strength. Then I do my workout, and then I do accessories. So there are 3 to 4 components in how I work out and how I train, and keeping my body supple and keeping my body strong. Building muscle at this age is possible, but most people don't want to do it. Most of my girls don't want to lift weights, and they do not want to do the work. And then they spend most of their time trying to catch up later on in life going, why didn't I just focus on strength? Because the aesthetic part of working out, most people like aesthetic workouts. They're like, I want to do abs, I want abs, I'm going to do abs. You're like, that's not abs. That's not how it works. The ignorance of training is also watching people that have bodies that were grounded in one modality early on in life. Like, I started karate when I was really young, so I think that my physique was grounded in martial arts. So we did a lot of push-ups, we did a lot of squatting, obviously, our stancing, and a lot of high repetition. So I was always very thin and strong, super strong. So when I converted over into, like, I did a lot of dance growing up. I did a lot of bodybuilding. I did a lot of cycling. I've done a lot of different types of sports. So my foundation was already set in place. So you guys that are out there, you're doing body weight workouts, even my workouts that we're going to do that have a Tabata component to it, I want you to think, go as heavy as possible. Like, get in your head that this is going to suck. And it's gonna hurt. When you go to Sucktown and you feel like just on the edge of like, I could throw up, you're probably right about where you need to be. And I'm talking not the pace, I'm talking about the weight. So let me be very clear about body weight workouts. If you're just going for pace and move, I want you guys to take a step back and try. All I ask is that you try. Cheers. I'm talking a mile a minute, but I wanted to get all this in today. Cheers. Think weight. So if you're used to using 3s, 5s, 8s, and 10s, I want you guys to take a step up. And if you can use good form with 10, 12, 15, it's time to graduate. Time to graduate. On your overhead presses, you should be using 15s to 20s, 25s, 35s, heavier weights. I'm working on a strength program. I have a handful of people that are dedicated just to strength, and I'm trying to get them to do pistols, trying to get them to do pull-ups, trying to get them to do overhead presses. It takes time, and it's hard. Let me tell you something. The movement is not easy, but it's so worth it for longevity. What do you want to be like when you're 80? Nobody thinks like that. We're like, hey, I'm doing the best I can with what I got. Well, yeah, but you also settle into a pattern that feels good. It's like classes that you take, and I take no offense to whatever class you guys take, but a lot of these classes are designed to just like go. And they don't slow you down enough to give you a chance to get like down and dirty and get like into a groove of heavy weight. And you're also comparing yourself with somebody to a classroom that's like, oh, look at her and look at her body. And she's using 3s or 5s and you're like, and she's just like at it, like going. You're like, wait a minute, maybe I should go lighter weight and more repetitions to look like that. And that's not how you build muscle. I really need you to be like super like conscientious of go with perfect form, heavier weight, build the muscle, eat the protein. We want to tackle eating more protein and getting protein into your diet on a regular basis. A lot of you are not eating enough protein. You're not really clear about your macros. You're not really clear about the content of the food that you're eating. And you spend way too much time working on the outside of the meal, which is all of the accessory foods. I say push back the accessories, consume the protein. That's what builds the body. That's what builds the when you look at somebody's body, for example, that and I see it all day long. No offense, it's just I don't find it to be functional, and I don't find the longevity in these bodies. In fact, what we see is a lot of leaching in the bodies where people, my girls, they'll restrict. They won't eat the protein. They'll be very like selective about their food, picking at food. My vegans, my vegetarians never get the amount of protein that they need because the volume of protein that they need from the food that they eat is just super calorific and huge amounts of carbohydrates. So they're not getting the protein, and their bodies don't change, and they become what we call skinny fat. Skinny fat is just a big volume of body weight, especially in my girls. Sorry. And then looking at the body and trying to build muscle, they're not providing their body with the amount of nutrients that they need. So body weight workouts, as long as you're going super heavy, muscle, protein, build it, and it fills out the body. You see shoulders, you see pecs, you see abs, you see legs, you see the perfect combination in the body. But again, most people don't want to work that hard. That's why they'll go to a class and offset like, okay, I just did this really hard workout and it burned like crazy, check. That's not really how it works. But I want to move on, and I want to make sure that you guys understand that, you know, we are talking about longevity. What do we want to look like when we're older? And we don't want to get down that road where things have happened, whether it be an illness, a disease, you know, bones broken, or something that has been triggered by the foods you eat, the alcohol you consume, the cigarettes you smoke, the drugs you take, and then you wake up one day and go, oh crap, my body does not respond to anything I want. So I'm living a life of X amount of years, which are all unknown to all of us, basically. And then you're like, oh, but I want to go hiking and climbing because now I'm retired and I have free time, but I can't do shit because I never ate right. I drink way too much alcohol. I smoke too many cigarettes. I do too many drugs. I eat too many carbohydrates. I'm in a place where my life is just, I'm a big bag of bones, and, you know, I want to live a better, healthier life, but I feel like now, when you're older, you also do not have that inspiration that young people have. You know, young people have this like, I want to look amazing, I want to have a perfect body, and you're like, okay, great. And then you're older, and life comes at you. You start having kids, and you know, you go through life, and life. When I talk about life, it in many forms of life where, you know, it's trickery. It's trickery, I say. Things happen and you're not ready for those things to happen, and then all of a sudden you're injured. What did you do prior to the injury? Well, I just had surgery, but I pushed through and I'm coming out the other side, and I continue to move. I just did more abs and I did more legs, and I consumed enough calories to heal my body and also offset what I wasn't doing. So, bodyweight workouts, 8 fundamentals, little dance break here. What do we got? Happy Monday. Cheers, you guys. So I wrote 8 fundamentals down, and then I even forgot, like, and I'm going to put it over here. I might even just add it right now, and now it's 9 fundamentals. Music. I think that music is like that all-encompassing. Listen, just feel it. Feel it for me. Feel it. You just want to groove, you want to move, you want to dance. You're like, I dance by myself all the time. I can remember even going out to clubs when I was younger, and I just danced by myself because nobody wanted to dance, or I would just dance with strangers. It was just like that. Like, I grew up in Miami, and there were clubs that we went to that was just like free for all, nobody cared. You know, gay, straight, black, white, nobody really give a shit. You just dance for hours. I remember my clothes soaking wet. And I didn't drink. I was just out to dance for hours, and my shoes would be soaking wet from just sweating and dancing for hours And nothing's changed. I still do it. I just dance by myself. Yeah. So that's really where for me, I wake up and I drive myself with music in my head all the time. If I don't have music in my head, I've got something inspirational going on, but I don't listen to, like, I read the news just to be able to make sure, like, we're not going to get blown up or something. But, you know, like, for me, just being able, like, to be happy. How do I force myself into happy? How do you force yourself into happy? And sometimes you have to. Some of you guys will be like, you know, like, I'm having a bad day. Like, and I totally get it, because I talk to people all day long with mental health issues. I mean, some real issues, like some people that I know that are close to me that I love and adore, but are not close enough to me that I want to grab and hold. And I'm like, dude, put some freaking music on. Make a playlist that is going to get you up and stop grinding that negative emotion into the ground, right? Force yourself. It's like medication. I think, like, the brain, remember, we're in the matrix. The brain is in a dark cloud constantly. How are we getting out of that? And part of the fundamentals that we're going to go over right now is that, but music drives you, right? You can also hear music that just makes you so goddamn sad, right? I could hear music right now. There's a song that was playing on the radio while I was driving when my father died. And to this day, when I hear this song, I'm like, ugh. It just like a big ball of hot air just punched you in the chest and pulled you back, like, whoa. And I go right to that moment. I go right there in the car driving to the hospital when, long story, but you guys don't want to get into that story. But that moment, but you get what I'm saying, like, you know, like, or happy music. Like, some of you that are married, like, I've never been married, so I have no idea what that is all about. But anyway, when your first dance song, right? And that song is like, and then some of you on here are like, yeah, I divorced that asshole, and now that song makes me want to punch somebody in the face. Like, I get it, right? Music has power. Music has emotion. Music has, like, this thing. Like, if like, when you're in love, right? And you can, like, listen to music and all just like, you're right, sets the tone. And then when you're not in love and you hear that music, you're like, oh, God, shut up, right? Play music. Get some, like, yum love in your head. Get that happy, you know, hey. Because mental health is real, people. You don't have to be bipolar. You don't have to have mental health issues. There's a lot of people out there that are, like, self-medicated with their bullshit. I'm like, we all have brains, and we all have darkness, and we all have, like, that serotonin thing where, like, I need a little wash right now. I need a little serotonin. I need a wash right now, and it's not coming at me, and I'm making my problems bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger just because I'm wallowing in it. And then I turn around and I'm like, yeah, we're all suicidal because we're all human. We're all living this human experience. And I agree, some of you, like, wallow a lot deeper than others. But throw some music on. Because what are your choices? Do you really want to be in that dark hole? 9 fundamentals. Body weight workouts, man. Get your body healthy. Do for you. We spend so much time on the exterior of life. Like, oh, what's your day? Well, I gotta go to work. I gotta go work for someone I hate. I gotta go do a job I hate. Oh, really? Fundamentals. So get your music down. Get your inspirational stuff down. I share with my group, David Goggins. David is like, he's like the shit. He's just like a different person. But I have that DNA. I have that, like, I hide part of me that makes me want to just lock the world out because I'm capable of that. So I have to be very careful of blocking people and blocking negative people that are in my group, in my circle, that I have to be very, very careful because their negativity will just draw you in and be like, ah! You have to be super careful of the people that are around you that are super dark and super negative, and they'll cling on you. And when they start clinging and they get heavy, it's like you are dragging that energy with you. Go out and get some sunlight. Go get some sunlight. And I'm not talking to the people that are like anti-sun people, because there are a lot of anti-sun phobes. And that's cool. There is a subset of people that should not get sunlight directly on their skin because they're so white. They have no melanin in their body. They're like super whitey whites and fair hair, light-eyed people that have moved away from that, sun thing, and it's dangerous. You like burn. And that's not the type of sun that I'm talking about. I'm talking about fresh air, sunlight, sunshine onto your body that will allow you to like take a deep breath and process that vitamin D. We're taking vitamin D, and we see these studies of people that are like, like you have 0 vitamin D in your body and you need to go get some sun. You need to like go a day at the beach and you're good. Like you're solid. Don't get burned. Don't go out there and fry, you dum-dum. Like just really get out and understand that it is not normal for us to hide from the sun. It's not normal for us to just lather and coat ourselves with chemicals and go out into the sun or hats and shirts and like, okay, like I get that. If you're out, like I see these women, I love it, that they're out and they're like covered in white zinc on their face, and they're out like walking the bridge, and I'm like, okay, I get it. I totally get it. You don't want to get sun damage. I get that part, right? Or there are a lot of people out there that have a misconception with sun. They think that sun gives you skin cancer, and that's not how it works. And you gotta like really educate yourself about that. And I don't want to get into it, but sun, skin cancer, that's not a thing. That's not how it works. And when you don't get sun and you don't protect your skin, you have to like really understand how that all works. But I'm not going to spend my show talking about skin cancer. I want you guys to understand, do your research and understand like also the sunscreens that you guys are putting on your body are topical, and that whole thing, and a lot of those things will create a negative effect. Again, I don't want to get into that, but sunlight, natural sunlight, go outside, get some sun, go to the beach, or go for a walk, or sit under a tree and outside and, hear the birds. Zinc and magnesium. Zinc and magnesium. I'm going to punch these two in your nose because I want to make sure that you guys really understand that zinc we don't talk about a lot. But zinc in the body, that's what we're protecting our bodies with in our immune system. And magnesium, that's what's leaching out of our body from our bones that we really don't want to lose. Because that's the thing that I think, for me, the zinc-magnesium combination, again, I don't talk about these things a lot, but I'm going to get into it today, and I want you guys to understand that's kind of the little bit better health formula for you guys. Morning beach air, for sure. Feel invigorated, feel alive, feel human again. Zinc and magnesium. Zinc and magnesium. That's all I got. I'm going to give you another fundamental, and this one is going to hit a lot of you right square in the face, and I know it to be true. I study a lot of the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca. I love that mindset of a Stoic, but reading, remember growing up, reading is fundamental. I used to love that saying. Reading, I read a lot. And reading doesn't necessarily have to be a book, but it can be a Kindle. It could be a magazine. It could be your computer. It can be your phone. You can read from anything. I don't like when people beat other people up about their style of reading consumption, because it's annoying. Like, if you do you and you're happy doing you the way you do you, great. But if I do me a different way, doesn't mean that your way is not right or wrong. But I love to read in any way I can. I love books. I love the physical touch of a book. I love reading off my phone. I love reading off the computer. I love reading, information. Like, I will Google something to death, but I'll Google it in layers, and it's almost like a bunny trail that I'll read something, like when I talk about sunlight, and I'll go, and someone will say something negative about, yeah, but sun causes skin cancer. I'm like, take a deep breath, settle back down, put it back out, and go, okay, if that's where you're at, and that's part of your education has left you at that marker, cool. But let's pull that back and see if we can go in a little farther. Yeah, audiobooks for sure. And I really understand also that there's a school of thought out there that says if you don't read it, you won't learn it. And that, my friends, is bullshit. I'm going to peel that Band-Aid, rip it off, and say, I listen to audiobooks and I can consume more books while I'm driving, while I'm working out, while I'm running, the things that I do that I can't sit down and pick up a book and hang out. I can do two things at once. So I've consumed, and I have a huge library of audiobooks. I listen to David Goggins. And one of the things I talk about David Goggins is I always tell people, don't read the book, get the audiobook. Because David is in the audiobook, not on the book. And when you listen, you hear the author, and then you hear David. And he jumps into the audiobook and gives his 2 cents on his own book. And it's quite revealing and very inspiring. If you guys aren't used to the word fuck, don't buy the book, because he says fuck a lot. I think fuck is one of those general concepts. It's a word, and how much power you put behind it, and what it really means while you're saying in context of what the message is you're delivering. So if you guys are a little fairy dusty, can't stand people that get offended by words. Like, it's just kind of ridiculous. And like, I love churchy people. Churchy people freak me out too. They're like, oh my God, she said fuck. I actually had somebody write a letter while I was working in one of the clubs, and they were offended by a shirt that I said, and the shirt said, no fucks given. I didn't even realize I was wearing the shirt because I never really think much of it. It's just kind of a concept. No fucks given means I don't really care. And so they wrote a letter, they sent it to the general manager, and the manager sent it to and they're like, you can't wear that shirt anymore. And I'm like, it's free speech. No, it's not if you work for us. I'm like, wow. Bunch of little snowflakes, right? All right, so we're going to keep moving on. Again, I totally highly recommend the Stoics. If you haven't gotten into that for a while, there's actually a book called It's the Stoics 365, and it's a great read. It's like a daily read. Sometimes the concept or the reading style, because it's ancient Roman, it's a little thick. Mentally, it's a little thick. You got to kind of pull back and go, huh? What? And I talk to people about language all the time. They're like, oh, the way that person talks is uneducated. I'm like, Let's get clear on language. Like, nobody owns language. It is a universally evolving thing, and accents and characters of words, how you say things, like the word ain't is, a lot of people are like, well, that's not proper, that's not very educated. I'm like, yeah, but I know you knew what I meant. I don't say ain't, but because it's not really like my vocabulary. But when I hear people say it ain't whatever, I'm like, I can judge it and be like, damn. Like, I hope you don't go on a job interview and speak like that, but if you talk like that to your friends, that's cool. Like, I talk a lot differently to other people, but anyway, don't be so judgy. All right, this one kind of goes with the sunlight thing, but I separated it, but it's kind of cool, and I want you guys to really understand, like, where I come from. We don't say no enough. We don't say no enough. We're the culture of fear of missing out. So if I say no, am I offending somebody? If I say no, will I lose an opportunity? Cheers. We're afraid to say no. We're afraid to, like, disconnect from information. I just read something recently. I happened to be in the Stoics, and this story was, very simply, a writer was doing a story on the NBA and the NBA players and history of NBA, and she had called Kobe Bryant a few weeks prior to his passing and asked him if he would sit for an interview. And his reaction was, no, because I am consumed with my children right now. My daughters are taking up all my time at the moment. And I guess the woman was like kind of put off or whatever. But then as the story goes, he ended up passing just merely a few weeks after that phone call. And so we look at it as a Stoic, and we say, we're all going to die. We're just all going to die. And we don't know when, and that's the beauty of it. So be prepared to always die, and not enough people talk about it. Not enough people talk about, like, we don't have a license to say, oh, let's just see what happens. And I talk about longevity, because I also want to make sure that I'm not throwing away time. And that's what we all end up doing, is throwing away time and throwing away opportunity to do for ourselves. You know, we throw away this mindset of like, oh, we'll do it later. No, do it now. Live now. What is it that you want to do? I want to do this. Well, let's do it. No, because, and the list goes on, and then you're done. Look at Kobe. Who'd have ever thought, who'd have thunk it, that Kobe Bryant would be dead? That he would fall out of the sky with his baby, with his little girl, and just, brap, gone. Who would have thunk that? It's almost like we think that we're going to live these long, exceptionally incredible lives. Do you guys remember Anna Nicole? And I remember at the time Anna Nicole was doing a TV show, and she had already gone like way on the other side of like cuckoo. And her show was like a train wreck. You just couldn't turn away, because you also saw that there was this person. She was so beautiful. Y'all remember when she was doing guests like that? And I remember, and then boom, she's dead. Like in the middle of like, boom, dead. And her baby and the whole thing. And so many people that we've known, so many people that I have known personally, friends of mine, that like one day to the next, and they are gone. And this is part of it too, because I woke up and I had been talking to a few people, and I almost feel like, why didn't I go into psychology? Like, maybe mindset reset is totally different than what I thought it was originally going to be. Like maybe mindset reset is just here to help people with their mindset reset. Like depression and anxiety, when COVID happened, my mind was like, oh, I got to go into like overdrive and help the people that are out there keep organized and get them like, here, keep moving, keep exercising. Don't fall into the trap. Don't start drinking. Don't start eating crap. Like go out, get sunlight, body weight workouts, zinc, magnesium, keep it going. I was like, push that big marshmallow up the hill kind of thing, and I use that analogy, like imagine like a life-size marshmallow and you're trying to push it up the hill and it's just like all like rah, and you get one side going and then the other side collapses and you get the other side. That was me, and that's my mindset, is how can I help others? And when I start helping more, and lately it's been this like depression thing and people with mental health issues kind of unraveling right in front of me. So I looked at this opportunity and said, Mindset Reset is not just for workouts. Mindset Reset is for everyone. And I'm really reaching out to a lot of people now that I'm not charging enough money for. Woo, that's a whole nother conversation. But this is all going back to unplugging. Get out into nature. And it could just be as simple as take off your shoes and socks and walk in the grass. Just that simple. Go sit with your butt on the ground up against a tree and have a conversation with the tree. But am I going to look like a crazy person? Who cares? We are all crazy. We are all collectively insane. Nobody's got mental health down. Nobody. I can talk and listen to some of the greatest minds in the world, and sometimes I think they're crazy too. Like, I've got this thought pattern. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. You happy? Good. Right? You're suicidal? Yeah, I see that all the time. And I'm like, are we out in nature? Are we reading? Are we eating good food? Are we eating good quality food? Or you're just eating crap? Just to stick shit in your face. Stop doing that. Take responsibility and make those changes. Mindset Reset, $99. Drop a comment below. Use the word strong. Get in on the program. You've got me at your beck and call. Intermittent fasting. We're going to talk about that because it's also one of the fundamentals. We eat way too much food, people. Y'all eat did you get that? Y'all eat way too much food. And you consume food way too much during the day. You're eating and eating and eating and eating and volume of food and volume of food. On top of the volume of food, you guys are eating all the wrong things. You're eating rice and pasta and bread and crap and garbage and crap and pizzas and just stuff. You're eating stuff. And then you wonder why your body and your brain are not working. You wonder why your body and brain are just disconnected. Are you getting out in the sun? Are you taking time for yourself? Are you reading? Are you laying down tracks? Because that's also a biohack. And the biohack of longevity is I've got to recreate these pathways. We set these pathways down when we were kids, like throwing a ball. And the first time you ever threw a ball was like, bleh, bleh, right? And then you started building muscle in throwing the ball. And then you started getting skill because you had to get the ball into somebody else's hand. And the first, 100 times you were like, oh my God. If you've ever played tennis, right? And the ball is just like all over. And you have that really patient tennis coach who's just rolling his eyes like, Jesus God, let's get this skill down. But you can't move from one skill until you get the next skill down, and that's life. And then you start building your skills, and then you're like, done. That's like school. And you lay those tracks down, and then you're like, okay, no more skill, no more tracks, and then your brain dies. That's where it goes. And then we end up with dementia. And dementia can be worked on, okay? They don't have a cure, but it can be worked on. And the big science out there is saying, listen, you've got to do the fundamental work. You've got to do weight-bearing exercises. You've got to do those heavy lifts. You've got to be lifting for strength and power and building muscle. You've got to be eating the right foods. You've got to go out and get some sunlight. You've got to be taking in zinc and magnesium. And you got to unplug. You got to start saying no. You got to start saying no and taking time for yourself. Because when you say no to something, you say yes to something else. And that yes to something else is probably something that's going to be rewarding for you. Even if you just want to lay in bed, even if you just want to sit at the beach or sit outside in a chair under a tree and be like, no, I don't want to take those phone calls. Why? Because they're not going to be good for you. And I'm not saying diss the work that needs to be done, but build it. Like, have you ever had calls that you got to take, like projects that you have to do, and you're like, shoot me. But if you say no, I'm going to say no right now, but I'm going to promise myself to get it done X. And then you set yourself up. You're like, I'm just going to get some sun right now. I'm going to eat some good food. I'm going to go for a workout. I'm going to come home. I'm going to shower. I'm going to change. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to get this project done. And then for most of us, we get that project done and we're like, yes, yes. And you build from that, and you build, and you grow, and you learn, and you reestablish your no to that stuff. You ever have meetings that you're supposed to go to, and you know that it's going to be just a mind suck, right? You're just like, I don't want to do that meeting because it's just a waste of time. I mean, I've been in meetings where I'm just like, why am I here? And the beautiful part of COVID, which we've all kind of figured out, is that I can take like a 5-minute FaceTime and go, what do you need? What do you want? Where do we go? How do we get it done? Done? Great call. Click. Anything else? No? Great. Oh, I got to get dressed, get in my car, drive to an office with a bunch of people that I could give a shit about to get the same information that I just did on a 5-minute maybe FaceTime, and then get back in the car and get back and take off the clothes and wash my face and be like, that 2-hour thing was way too much. So we're learning that we can also prioritize our time and our commitments and be able to get to a place where we're like, okay, let's focus. What needs to be done? How do we get it done? What is the most efficient way of getting this done? So we're living in a totally new time. So here we are. We're about 10 minutes away from our workout. I already have it established up on my page. Guys, get fit with Lisa G. You're going to be hearing a lot of that. Rebuilding my website. Super excited. TV show is happening. We're doing all the choreography right now. New set is being built out. Building out also my podcast, so you guys will see me with my headphones on. Super excited that this is all coming out of the pandemic. It's a really great place to be. Mindset Reset, for you guys that are not in the program, it's only $99, 5 weeks. Get yourself organized. You have a one-on-one with me every single week. You have 2 Zoom calls that are on Monday and Friday night. Super exciting. Great way to start your weekend. Great way to start your day. Everybody's got some wins. People losing weight, getting in shape, getting their mindset reset, getting where they need to be, getting so motivated. Lots of love in the group. Recipes are being shared. The whole weekend was just all recipes. I was super excited. I'm like, wow, okay, right on. Workouts every day as well. Again, Mindset Reset is to get you guys also, the fundamentals are bodyweight workouts. Are we working out for muscle? Are we getting enough protein in our body? Are you getting sunlight, zinc, magnesium? Are you reading? Read. Get those tracks fired up. Get that mind, that frontal lobe, like totally on board. Unplugging and being able to push back and say, I need a timeout. A lot of us are working at levels that are just so degrading to our physical well-being, but we have to stay in the group. So a lot of times we're just in a place where like It's a rat. It's a rat wheel. That's why they call it the rat race. It's just moving and moving and moving, and nothing is really working out. Intermittent fasting, food restricting, getting the right proteins at the right time in the right like time frame or restriction area. I'll help you guys with that. Also, sleep. We haven't talked about sleep yet. And listen, I'm super guilty of bad sleep. So yeah, I'm really, really, really bad on sleep. But I say that to people because everybody's got their advice to me, and none of it works because no one can tell my brain to stop waking up at 3 a.m. It just does. It's how I micromanage that 3 a.m. wake up. And I have my patterns to get back to sleep. So I'm working on that. I've been like this since I'm a little kid. It's nothing new. It's just kind of crazy that it's like, I'm surprised that I'm as healthy as I am. But everybody says sleep. I'm like, okay. But I struggle too. So I'm not perfect, and I work on it. And the last thing that I'm going to leave you with, and I'm going to shut down here so I can get prepared for the workout, is music. And the music that we listen to, and Bethany, I see you're on here, and you have been in my mindset reset all weekend long. I'm gonna reach out to you today. What's up, everybody? All right, guys, I'm gonna jump off here, and I'm gonna get into our workout. I'm gonna describe it. Go ahead and get your weights. We are working with what did I say today? I totally forgot. Hold on one second. We are on, all right, so we are on pop squats, reverse lunges, push release, plank hold, air squats. We really have no other weights other than bicep curls, upright rows, side lateral, bicep curl, and tricep kickbacks. So go ahead and get your weights. Get your 3s, 5s, 8s, 10s, 12s, 100s. Again, we're working Tabata formula today. Give me 5 minutes. I'll be right back on here for you guys for the workout. I'm working out with you, and I'm super excited about that. Remember, mindset reset. Excuse me. $99. I'll help you guys out and get you super organized. We've got a strength program, menopause. I help you guys get that like reset entirely. If you've got body weight on your body that just can't, let's chat about it. I love you guys. I'll see you in 5 minutes.